So if you really had to throw down with Tyrese, what would happen? Tough fight.
This is a surprise to so many because this once quiet feud between two of Sex and the City stars now becoming a very public girl fight.
In the entertainment industry, it's not all that surprising when actors who play love interests on TV shows or movies end up together in real life. Spending all that time with someone on set, usually being involved in romantic scenes, when you need to act like you're in love with the person, it just does something to you. But as we know, the opposite can be true as well, and sometimes two personalities collide on set, which in times results in one of the actors being fired. Today on Informoverload, I'll be counting down the top 10 actors who refuse to work together. What's good, everyone? I'm your host, Jared Bronstein, and today we're talking about some actors who gave some of their best performances ever. Considering how they fooled viewers into thinking they loved their co-star when in reality, after the directors yelled cut, well, they wouldn't even look at each other. I gotta admit, it's impressive. As always, let me know your thoughts on this one down below and stick around for some comment replies. For now, you guys know what time it is. Let's jump right into it. Starting us off at number 10, Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel. I feel this is one of the more obvious ones on here, as it's not much of a secret these guys had issues on set. As filming for The Fate and the Furious would wrap up, Johnson would post a questionable caption on Instagram. I quote, "This is my final week of shooting Fast and Furious 8. There's no franchise that gets my blood boiling more than this one. An incredible hardworking crew. Universal has been great partners as well. My female co-stars are always amazing and I love them. My male co-stars, however, are a different story. Some conduct themselves as stand-up men and true professionals, while others don't. The ones that don't are too chicken to do anything about it anyway. Candy. When you watch this movie next April and it seems like I'm not acting in some of these scenes and my blood is legit boiling, you're right." He also included the hashtag zero tolerance for candy. Now couple that caption with the fact that Johnson and Diesel didn't have a single scene together in the film, at least where they had to be physically close. There was a phone call scene, but it's likely that they shot that on different days, different locations, different times. Johnson would eventually admit to Rolling Stone, I quote, "Vin and I had a few discussions, including an important face-to-face in my trailer. And what I came to realize is that we have a fundamental difference in philosophies on how we approach movie making and collaborating. It took me some time, but I'm grateful for that clarity, whether we work together again or not." It seems the feud has been squashed as Diesel posted a photo in support of the franchise's spin-off, Hobbs and Shaw, and Johnson posted a video praising Vin and his support. Still, some think Johnson may make an appearance in Fast 9, but he hasn't been credited on IMDb, and it may be due to the fact that these guys aren't on the best terms. They just did some damage control on the PR side of things. At number 9, Will Smith and Janet Hubert. Hubert played Aunt Viv on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for 3 seasons until her character was recast. On the show, the two appeared to have a great relationship, but it seems that was only when the cameras were rolling. Hubert actually claimed she was fired from the show simply because she suggested that Will leads the discussion with producers of increasing the other actors' pay. As you can imagine, Will has a very different story regarding the situation. In a 1993 interview, he explained, I quote, "I can say straight up that Janet Hubert wanted the show to be the Aunt Viv of Bel-Air show because I know she is going to dog me in the press. She has basically gone from $250,000 a year to nothing. She's mad now, but she's been mad all along. She once said, I've been in the business for 10 years and this snotty-nosed punk comes along and gets a show. No matter what to her, I'm just the Antichrist." Now this was almost 30 years ago, so to no surprise, Will has moved on, wishing her all the best and claiming there's no ill will. Janet, on the other hand, thinks she has had issues getting work in the industry ever since, and to this day blames Will. In a recent Zoom Fresh Prince reunion celebrating 30 years since the show debuted, Will invited all the alumni to join, but it appears one of the only missing characters was Aunt Viv, at least Janet's version. Safe to say she probably didn't get the invite from Will, so maybe there's like a little ill will still there. At number 8, Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones. Co-starring together in the 1995 film Batman Forever, which also features the likes of Val Kilmer and Nicole Kidman. Apparently Tommy didn't appreciate Jim Carrey the way the rest of us did. While being interviewed by both Howard Stern and Norm Macdonald on separate occasions, Carrey recalled the time right before the duo had to shoot one of their biggest scenes for the films. And let's just say it was probably very awkward. Jim explained how the two just so happened to be having dinner at the same restaurant one night, and I quote, "The maitre d' said, 'Oh, I hear you're working with Tommy Lee Jones. He's over in the corner having dinner.' I went over and I said, 'Hey Tommy, how are you doing?' And the blood just drained from his face." Carrey went on to say, "And he got up shaking. He must have been in mid-kill me fantasy or something like that. And he went to hug me and he said, 'I hate you. I really don't like you.' And I said, 'What's the problem?' and pulled up a chair, which probably wasn't smart. And he said, 'I cannot sanction your buffoonery.' Although Jim went on to guess the issue stemmed from the fact that, I quote, 'I was the star and that was the problem,' he also went on to say, I quote, 'He's a phenomenal actor though. I still love him. He might have been uncomfortable doing that work too. That's not really his style of stuff.' Still, don't expect to see these two teaming up again, like ever. At number 7, Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall. The two played best friends on Sex and the City, but over the years, it seems their relationship deteriorated in a very public fashion. There were always rumors that the other girls of the show were almost like the Three Musketeers, and then there was Kim. There was a time Parker apparently rented out a house in Atlantic City while filming for the show, and she stayed there with co-stars Cynthia Nixon and Kristen Davis. However, an HBO spokesperson told outlets that the only reason why Cattrall didn't stay with them was because she expected her husband to come down and meet her, but he couldn't make it last minute. There were also rumors that when Parker got an executive producer credit and her salary jumped to $300,000, Cattrall wanted more. There were also the rumors regarding Cattrall and the other actors, but it seems none of it was true and simply just tabloids for drama. Then with the third Sex and the City movie's production being halted, it was rumored again Cattrall demanded her other films were made by the studio before Sex and the City, something they didn't agree to. Cattrall denied the claims, but then well on Piers Morgan openly said that she was never friends with her castmates, and speaking on Parker specifically said, I quote, "I think she could have been nicer. I really think she could have been nicer. I don't know what her issue is." Parker, on the other hand, has never publicly spoken badly about Cattrall, but she was called out by Kim for faking her niceness. In at number 6, James Franco and Tyrese Gibson. Back in the day, Franco was a method actor, and as he put it, I quote, "It wasn't even fun, it was a horrible way to work, I was miserable, I wanted to quit." As we know, Franco has gone on to be part of some incredible films, but still, while filming Annapolis, it seems he got way too into character to the point that Tyrese never wants to work with him again. The movie has a climatic fight scene between the two actors, so naturally before filming they practiced the sequence and would spar regularly. Gibson explains, "I was always like, James, lighten up man, we're just practicing." He never lightened up. I respect method actors, but he never snapped out of character. Whenever we'd have to get in the ring for boxing scenes, and even during practice, the dude was full on hitting me. Franco even admitted he was unpleasant and had nothing but nice things to say about Tyrese. I quote, "I take full blame for any problems on that film. If he had a bad experience working with me, I was probably a jerk. I was not purposely cruel to him, but I was probably so wrapped up in my performance that I was not as friendly as I could have been. I think Tyrese is a sweet guy with a good heart. I wish him all the best." Tyrese is still pissed though, telling Playboy in 2007, "I never want to work with him again," and I'm sure he feels the same way. "It felt very personal, it was effed up." Now halfway at number 5, Sylvester Stallone and Richard Gere. It seems this beef started while filming Lord of the Flatbush, which Gere would eventually actually have his part recast after being fired. Stallone explains it best. In an interview he said, I quote, "He would strut around in his oversized motorcycle jacket like he was the baddest knight at the round table. One day during an improv, he grabbed me, we were simulating a fight scene, and got a little carried away. I told him in a gentle fashion to lighten up, but he was completely in character and impossible to deal with. Then we were rehearsing at Coney Island and it was lunchtime, so we decided to take a break, and the only place that was warm was in the back seat of a Toyota. I was eating a hot dog and he climbs in with half a chicken covered in mustard with grease, nearly dripping out of the aluminum wrapper. I said, 'That thing is going to drip all over the place.' He said, 'Don't worry about it.' I said, 'If it gets in my pants, you're gonna know about it.' He proceeds to bite into the chicken and a small greasy river of mustard lands on my thigh. I elbowed him in the side of the head and basically pushed him out of the car. The director had to make a choice. One of us had to go, one of us had to stay. Richard was given his walking papers and to this day seriously dislikes me." On to number 4, Charlie Sheen and Selma Blair. Well, this was an interesting one as Blair claims she was fired over text by Sheen, who referred to her as the C word. There was a falling out after Blair questioned Sheen's work ethic, but Sheen had a different side of the story. While on Jay Leno, he explained one of our primary characters, Selma Blair, who played Kate, was written out because the show was not about a relationship, and the problem was too many people were still excited about the 2.5 Men character and thought the anger management character was a little dull. This was also 2 years after Sheen's highly publicized fallout with 2.5 Men creator Chuck Lorre, which eventually led to Sheen being fired from the show. Number 3, Bill Murray and Lucy Liu. On screen the chemistry was great, off screen not so much. Although I can't confirm 100% that it got to the point that hands were thrown, a lot of sources seem to think that's how this one played out, and truthfully I wouldn't be surprised. A 2008 post from the movie blog wrote, "People magazine reported that Bill loudly complained about her technique. People were being gentle. What actually transpired was much more intense. Bill Murray stopped the scene in progress and pointed to Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, and Lucy Liu, saying in order, 'I get why you're here, and you've got talent, but what in the hell are you doing here? You can't act.' At that, Liu blew her lid and attacked Murray, wildly throwing punches. The actors had to be separated to opposite corners of the room while they lobbed verbal hand grenades at each other. With the Columbia Pictures gun to their heads, both actors would publicly downplay the incident, but insiders know better. Bill Murray would not do any sequel with Liu attached and was subsequently replaced by Bernie Mac. Now I will say if I was in the middle of a scene and another actor called me out like that, yeah, I would probably throw hands. Number 2, William Shatner and George Takei. You'd think all the years on Star Trek together would form an unbreakable bond between the actors, but it seems the opposite has happened. Over the years, both actors have publicly displayed their distaste for each other, which likely started in Takei's 1994 autobiography To the Stars, in which he claimed Shatner would act like he didn't know who he was on set, and that Shatner changed a script to prevent Sulu, the character Takei played, from receiving command of a starship. Shatner was clearly upset when he wasn't invited to the K's 2008 wedding, leading him to go off during an interview. Quote him saying, "There's such a sickness there, it's so painfully obvious that there's a psychosis there. I don't know what his original thing about me was, I have no idea. I didn't read his book that was printed many years ago. I didn't know him very well in the series, he'd come in for a day or two as evidenced by the role he played." Takei, as recently as 2014, well on Bill Maher, confirmed they still don't have much love for one another, saying Canadians have a certain image of being even-tempered and friendly and all that, while he is a person who is that way with himself. He is very self-centered. And at number 1, Robert Downey Jr. and Terrence Howard. As we know, Howard was expected to play War Machine in the Iron Man sequel, but would be replaced by Don Cheadle. Turns out the reason Howard walked was because, according to him, RDJ wasn't going to take a pay cut, and the film didn't have the budget to pay Howard what they originally agreed to. Well, on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, Howard explained, "It turns out that the person that I helped become Iron Man, when it was time to re-up for the second one, took the money that was supposed to go to me and pushed me out. They came to me with the second and said, look, we will pay you 1/8 of what we contractually had for you because we think the second one will be successful with or without you. And I called my friend that I helped get the first job and he didn't call me back for 3 months. However, Robert Downey Jr. has a very different story telling MTV in 2008, "I had nothing to do with that decision. I love Terrence very, very much. That's all I'll say because I haven't talked to him yet. It's one of those situations where I still don't quite know what happened or why. Here's what happens too. Things happen and you wind up commenting on them before you've actually talked to the people, and it's in poor taste." And there you guys have it for the top 10 actors who refuse to work together. Bit of a long one, but I'm still going to reply to your comments because I'm a savage. Boom. Gotta just send it, bro. Let's go! In the video, Billie Eilish unfollows everyone on Instagram for this reason. Nicole Curiel said, "Girls at my school do this thinking they are celebrities." Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah. People unfollow like everybody and they're like, "I only have 2 followers." And it's like, okay. Powerful Dream said maybe she's trying to say everybody has hurt someone at some point in their life. That would be actually very symbolic of her to just say that, in a sense, everyone is, I guess, someone else's abuser, I guess. I think she meant it more like a little literal term. Just I think what she was trying to do is literally just show support to her followers that have dealt with abuse in the past, saying, you know, I hear you, I respect you, I'll stand with you. I think that's what she was trying to do. But what do I know? San Andreas X said, "I love when people accept followers but refuse to follow. LMAO, like, okay, we get it, you think you're important." I used to feel that way, but I've learned, like, I gotta put my own ego aside and not take it so personally. Maybe they just don't care to see what you're posting. Maybe they saw your page and they're like, I don't want to follow this person. Maybe they don't know you. There's tons of reasons why. Yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say. I don't know. I'm not even that active on Instagram anymore, so I don't know. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein, and we'll see you in the next one. What's good, everyone? I'm your host. Oh, they got, I don't even care. I'll still say it. Try to call me out. What's good, everyone? You guys are gonna have a lot of good bloopers here. Please include that in the bloopers. I want them to see that I think this way. The ones that don't are too chicken to do anything about it anyway. Candy. When you...
Sounds like a fucking wrestling promo.
That's why I'm laughing, because it's like, I can just imagine him being like, the ones that don't do are too chicken about it anyways. Candy. Like, it's just so like dramatic, man. You know? Candy. Then we were rehearsing at Coney Island and... Coney Island. It's Coney Island, isn't it?
Couldn't be 2 O's, wouldn't it? I'm not sure actually.
Coney Island. I think it's Coney Island.
Yeah, that's what I'm that.
Coney? I think it's Coney Island. Coney Island? Coney Island. Should I say both just in case? I know this area too. It's in New York. I just don't know if it's Coney. Maybe it is Coney Island.
Yeah,
I think it is Coney Island. Okay. I was eating a hot dog and he climbs in with the half. I was eating a hot dog and he climbs in with a half a chicken. Why does he talk like this?